Hey everyone, thank you for joining me, and today I would like to talk about something which keeps coming up, and it's in the same arena that I guess is part of my core message, because I keep coming back to it, this kind of theme of energetic integrity, of really holding a vibration, really having faith and being very authentic and not protective, but just very strong and boundaried in the energy that you are radiating and that you are allowing in. And I want to talk about it in the sense of, because, when we're talking about really standing in your own energetic blueprint and conveying your truth, your message, and, being very energetically sensitive and aware of what you say yes to, of what you say no to, it can come across a little bit like, or I can see that, like, a lot of people may feel like, okay, but for me to get to that place, I have to really know what I'm about and what the truth is, and I have to have my shit really together, basically. And there are a lot of sort of sensitive, high-frequency empaths out there like me, who are still hiding, who are not really sharing their gifts with the world and not stepping forward and not showing up. Because, there's kind of two things. One thing that I identify as part of this pattern, so it's about me sharing my story, but I know that this really resonates with so many of you. So there's two things. It's like, on the one hand, when you're a sensitive person, when you're quite empathic and, your journey in life has been about developing faith in yourself. It's been about being able to assert boundaries. It's kind of been like, I have this wisdom. Do I really have this wisdom? Do I really hold this wisdom? Do I have a right to this wisdom? And do I have a place in this world? And am I going to get judged? This world feels so harsh. It feels so like, it's so dense, and the edges are so harsh, and there's so many contrasts, and it's so like reactive, and it's just not really my kind of place, where like I feel so sensitive and gentle and kind of, I feel everything so much, and it's all just so abrasive. So because of all these experiences that have sort of totaled up in your life, there's been this kind of journey of having so many experiences that make you recoil inside yourself, and then the learning, the development, which is, okay, I've recoiled within myself, but now I need to come back and still stand here and still show up and still be my truth. So that's one side of it, where a lot of people that, they have gifts to bring to the world right now. Their message, their healing, their light, their love is really valid and really needed right now, but they're reluctant to step forward, to expose themselves, to be revealed, because of this, like, but I'm gonna get judged, and because of all the judgment that you've had in your life, you don't even fully have faith in yourself. It's like, but what if people think I'm full of shit? Because there's still a part of you that's like, am I just full of shit? And so that's like one side of it. And then the other side of it is, because you hold this wisdom, because you do hold a higher consciousness, you do have this more kind of higher spiritual energy, if you like, that you also cringe in the way that just seems so spiritual ego, because there is so much spiritual ego out there. There's just a lot of ego out there in all its forms. And so then when you are standing in it, when you are like, this is just me, this is just it, okay, I'm going to come forth, it's then it's just like the kind of magnificence that can come through because of the things that you're talking about and that kind of vibration that you're holding. It can then just seem so big and so bright that it's then, like you feel within yourself that it's too much. So rather than being afraid of, being knocked down because the world is too abrasive, you feel like you're gonna shine too much and burn through too much or knock too much down, knock too many people down or something. And one way or the other, there's still this thing of like, what will people perceive this as? So I've had this fear of like people will either kind of detect that actually there's someone in here that is not so comfortable or not so confident, and will see the trail of insecurities that I've had throughout my life and the lack of faith, and will detect some kind of like that radar for when someone is not fully embodying or not fully standing in their message. And then also the fear of like, wow, she's actually like, almost verging on arrogant because of the level of confidence and the level of empowerment and embodiment and total kind of standing in your truth or my truth that's there. So it's these two things, and that's what that's what held me back for so long, and I think that's what holds a lot of people back. And the thing to do about this, and this is what is being invited from everybody right now, from Mother Earth, from the universe, from spirit, from your heart, whether you're this type of person that I'm referring to or not, whether you're like me and you were holding yourself back for so long, not wanting to really share your gifts with the world, because you're this kind of sensitive, empathic type, or whether you're just anybody, any kind of type, and you're feeling, you have this sense of who you are and this transformation wanting to happen within you and your life. And you can feel the conflict of the world that you're kind of living in, coming out of, the world that is there with all of its rules and all of its ways, versus what you feel like you want to step into. So the thing about it, and this is something that is kind of like, it's a little bit hard to describe. Again, it kind of sounds really simple, but it's actually quite a big like change. So I don't know, I'm going to try my best to convey it. It's kind of changing the game. It's like change your perception entirely. Because so long as you're trying to figure anything out or trying to navigate something within that framework of kind of, within that dimensional realm. So if you're that kind of empathic, sensitive person, it's like, okay, how can I be, how can I come across in a certain way? And what work do I have to still do on myself in order to become more confident? Or how do I come across in a more humble way so that I don't seem all spiritual ego? Or for anybody right now, just, what edges can I push a little bit in order to be more myself? How can I start to align myself with my life more? It's like all these kind of like shifts and movements within this framework. You're not really getting it. It's like there is like this whole other dimensional potential on the planet right now, and within the potentials of our consciousness. it's just not in that box at all. It's kind of, let me just feel into this. Okay, so coming back to the sensitive empath, because this is a kind of example that I can work well with. It's like you have to come from this state of being where nothing matters anymore. And this isn't a new message. It's like nothing matters anymore. And nothing matters anyway. So you can keep trying to perfect things forever and ever and ever. You can keep doing more healing. You can keep doing more transformation. You can keep pushing those edges as long as you like. But there's a point at which it just doesn't matter anymore. And it's like you can still feel like, am I just full of shit? But it doesn't matter. Whether I am or not, it doesn't matter. What somebody thinks, it doesn't matter. Because all there is that, well, this is just what is. Like, this is just me. This is just the energy coming through me. This is just the divine vessel that is I. And this is the message that has come through me. This is what I've learnt. This is what I've been taught. This is what I've been guided. This is what I've gathered, or what the Great Spirit has gathered within my realm, within my sphere of reality, to put out there. And that's all it is. And it's just, okay, well, we have to stand for something. At some point, you have to stand for something. At some point, you have to just cease all doubt. And that doesn't mean that there won't be any more doubt. That doesn't mean, like I said, that you won't still think, I don't know if what I'm saying is right or not. I know nothing. Of course, we know nothing. How can we ever know anything about the truth of the universe? You don't. I don't. But here it is, and we're playing this game of life. And it is just a game. It is just play. And so at some point, I have to just accept that this is what I am. This is what I'm playing. This is what I have to offer. And it doesn't matter. Like, nothing else matters but just being that within, it's just about you. Just imagine that like nothing else existed, because your entire fabric of reality that has been constructed around you is just like a playground just for you. Just imagine that there wasn't another single person, that every other person is just a kind of, it's just like a kind of illusory kind of pawn in this game. And I know, again, that sounds completely egocentric, because it's like, I'm the center of the universe. But but there is actual divine truth in that, because we are each the center of the universe. And so just imagine that was nothing else. And it's just about, okay, well, what am I going to be right now? Well, I'm not going to be that over there. I'm not going to be that teaching over there, or be like that person, because that's not what's given to me. I'm going to be this. And again, not this that my parents gave to me, or that my childhood friends gave to me, or that my experiences, that have formed some kind of construct have given to me. But what has been coming through my heart for the past 37 years, that's what I'm going to bring. What I feel in my spirit, what brings me joy, what brings me a sense of love, what I love more than anything, that's what I'm going to be. And it doesn't matter what any other aspect of reality or person thinks about it, or how they react to it. It's completely irrelevant. So, in everything that I share, in all of my teachings, like, I'm bringing it all now, because what else am I going to do? Am I going to spend the rest of my life trying to perfect things and question things and doubt things and, keep dropping it? No, there's a beautiful opportunity right now to just be something without attachment. There's no mind involved whatsoever. That's the key. there isn't any mind. It's beyond the mind. There's no questioning things, figuring out things, analysing things, like any of that kind of logical, rationalising behaviour is not it. It's just, language can't actually describe it. It's just being something that is coming through you. And, we can relate this more specifically to your kind of, to like your higher calling or your purpose in life, regardless of what that is. But it's also just about your day-to-day life, your day-to-day functioning and operating. Because that also is being invited to shift dramatically. Because who we are and how we relate to other people and how we live our lives and our kind of daily schedules and everything is so deeply entrenched and embedded in ideas that are completely outdated, ideas that are born out of old structures and that have no relevance anymore, potentially. And so, a lot of all of these rules just have to change. At some point, we need to start breaking through them. And this can be like really simple things, like, one of the major areas that I get really excited about is social dynamics. The way that people get so drained and so burnt out and essentially betray themselves and aren't entirely authentic because of letting down somebody, hurting their feelings, because it's not what you do in that instance or whatever. So you meet up with a friend, and after like 20 minutes, you suddenly start feeling tired. Or you start to get a feeling of like, I don't feel I'm meant to be here anymore. Or they're sharing something, and you can feel your energy dropping, that something is like sinking inside of your being. And instantly you get bombarded by all of these societal rules about the way that you should or shouldn't respond. Like, oh, you can't leave now. Or you can't just suddenly say that, that what they're sharing doesn't feel true to you. Or, that there's all of these things. And again, all of that needs to shift. We need to be able to be completely just completely free, completely true and completely free, without there being cause of reaction, misunderstanding, breakdown in connection. Because actually, when you can be completely free and really share your heart and where you're at, and that other person can also, you're giving that person also to operate in that way. And, and if they can't respond in that way, then maybe you just can't be with that person anymore. But if they can get it, and you can both exist in this way where you're completely just free in the moment, nobody's going to hold each other hostage. You're not going to hold yourself hostage. And so that is a way of creating a much deeper connection with that other person. Actually, it creates deeper intimacy and faith and trust and safety. And it can allow for a kind of friendship that at the moment rarely exists on Earth. And it's the same for other areas of our life, just for kind of our daily schedules, our eating patterns, our everything. We have an invitation to start living in an entirely new way on the planet. And to really question what is true, what is authentic, what is balanced. And, I always come back to the 3 pillars of the White Temple. My website, white-temple.com. I have these 3 pillars that everything comes back to, because it's about you being in your rightful power. Just being yourself, just being embodied. And these things all have so many different meanings. There's such a game of semantics, but it's really just about this, just about you just being that which is your spirit and your heart, and how that comes through. And sacredness. We've lost the sacred in our lives because of all these rules that we've imposed on everything, because of all these outdated structures and the kind of this forceful energy that we put over everything, and all these expectations and pressures on the ways that we're meant to be living. So we lose the sacredness, which returns to us instantly the moment that we really live in the moment and feel ourselves and feel the energy around us, and can be really, really beautifully true to that. And then we can start to live in more balance. We can start to inquire as to what is a more balanced way of living. Because our ideas of balance, that are just like eating the right thing, incorporating exercise, having a little bit of, equality between work and play, that's still so far from what it means to really be in balance within yourself, with the earth, and in relation to, these new time energies on the planet, or the great spirit or universe, this game of existence that we are playing on this earth, in this life at this time. So I hope that helps some of you a little bit and inspires you to live more authentically. Lots of love. Bye.